Hello friends and welcome to Forest Learning Academy. In this session, we will be continuing ahead with our remaining discussion on Factories Act 1948, and this is Dr. Urmila Sonane with you all in this session. So let's proceed. The points that we are going to discuss in this session are safety measures under the statutory provisions, that is from section 21 to section 41. Then welfare measures under the statutory provision, that is from section 42 to section 49. And lastly, we are going to have a discussion on employee state insurance scheme, that is ESIS. Now let us start with the safety measures. Prevention of accident is an objective which requires no expansion. This is one of the area in which there is complete identity of employee as well as employer's interest. The employee does not want to be get injured, while the employer doesn't want to incur the cost of injuring him. Hence, the Act provides 20 different sections on obligatory safety measures. Let us see the sections. The sections are from section 21 to 41 that we are going to have a discussion. Section 21 is about fencing of the machinery. Every dangerous part of the machinery shall be secured, fenced by safeguard of substantial construction, which shall maintain and keep in position the machineries. Section 22 is about working on machinery in motion. In every factory, it is necessary to examine each and every part of the machinery when it is in motion, and this has to be done by the trained adult worker by wearing the protective clothing given to him by the employer. Now let us see the section 23. It is about employment of young person on dangerous machineries. No young workers is allowed to work on any of the dangerous machineries unless he is fully trained and instruction, and he gets this training from his supervisor. Talking about section 24, it is about striking gear and devices for cutting off of the power. When a device which can be inadvertently shifted from off to on position is provided, for this type of arrangement shall be provided for locking the devices in safe position. This is done for preventing the accidental start of any machineries. Now let us see the section 25. The section 25 is about the self-acting machine. No traversing part of any self-acting machine shall be allowed to run on its inward or outward direction with a distance of 45 cm from a fixed structure, but which is not the part of that machine. Now let us see the section 26. The section 26 is about casting of new machineries. All machineries that are driven by power installed in any factory shall be completely encased unless it is safely situated so that danger can be prevented. Section 27 is about prohibition of employment of women and children near the cotton openers. And section 28 is about hoist and lifts. In every factory, hoist and lift shall be of good mechanical construction, should have a sound material, and has the adequate strength. Now let us see the section 29. The section 29 is about lifting machines, chains, rope and lifting tackles. Every factory uses cranes and other lifting machines. So all these machines shall be of good construction, should have sound material and has good strength. Also, they should be defective free and properly and regularly maintained. Section 30 is about the revolving machineries. In the factories where grinding process is carried out, there a permanent notice shall be kept near the machinery which indicates the working speed and the diameter of the pulley for the workers' use. Section 31 is about pressure plant. In the factories where any plant or machinery is operated above the atmospheric pressure, there the effective measures shall be taken to ensure the safe working pressure is not exceeded. Now let us see the section 32. Section 32 is about floors, stairs and means of access. All the means of access for the workers such as passages, floors, steps, staircase and gangways should be of sound construction and properly and regularly maintained. Section 33 is about pits, slumps and openings in the floor. In every factory, all the openings on the floors or ground such as pits, slums, tanks, etc. shall be securely covered or fenced. Section 34. Section 34 is about excessive weights. No workers shall be allowed to carry, lift or move heavy loads which may cause injury to him. Section 35 is about protection to eyes. In the factories where any process which involves danger or injury to the worker's eyesight is carried out, there the protection such as screens or goggles has to be compulsorily given to them and instructed to them to use them compulsorily. The section 36 is about precaution against the dangerous fumes. No person shall be allowed to enter in any chamber, tank or pit where the dangerous gas, fumes, vapor or dust is present, but allowed unless if it is provided with a manhole of adequate size or some other effective means for exit from that chamber. Section 37 is about precaution against explosive or inflammable gases. If the factory manufacturing process produces dust, gas, fumes or vapors which are likely to explode on ignition, in such units all the practicable measures shall be taken to prevent such explosions, as workers are the employer's assets. Section 38 is about precautions in case of fire. In every factory, all the practicable measures shall be taken to prevent the outbreak of fire and its spread both internally and externally. Also, provided with safe means of exit outside the factory. Section 39 is about power to require specification of defective parts or test of stability. If it is appear to the inspector came for inspection that any building, machinery or plant is dangerous to human life or safety, then he may ask the site manager to carry out the test to prove their safety. Section 40 is about safety of building and machinery. If any building, plant or machinery is dangerous to human life or their safety, then the inspector came for the inspection may prohibit its use of it until it has been properly repaired or altered. Section 40A is about maintenance of building. If any building is in the state of repair, the inspector may ask the manager to specify the measures taken for such repairs. Section 40B is about safety officers. In the manufacturing process where 1,000 or more than that workers are working, then there the safety officer has to be appointed. Now let us see the welfare provisions. The Act also obligates the organization to provide certain amenities like facilities for washing and drying of the clothes of the workers, first aid box, canteen facilities, creches for the women workers and welfare officers. All the detailed instructions about this Act is mentioned in section 42 to section 49. Let us see one by one. Section 42 is about washing facilities. In every factory, adequate and suitable washing facilities for male and female workers should be provided and maintained for use of all workers. Section 43 is about facilities for drying and storing the clothes should be provided. Section 44 is about facilities for sitting the employees. Suitable arrangement for sitting shall be provided and maintained for all the workers who are obliged to work in standing position. Section 45 is about first aid appliances. At least one first aid box with prescribed content shall be provided for every 150 workers. Now let us see section 46. The section 46 is about the canteen. In any factory, if more than 250 workers are employed, a canteen facility shall be provided and maintained for the use of every workers. Let us see section 47. It is about shelter room, restroom and lunch room. If more than 150 workers are employed in any factory, there shall be provided a provision for shelter room, restroom and lunch room with fresh and pure drinking water. Section 48 about the creches, that is for any woman worker. In any factory, if more than 30 women workers are employed, a suitable room should be maintained for the use of their children under the age of 6 years. Section 49 is about the welfare officer. Welfare officer should be appointed in a factory employing more than 500 workmen. Let us see Employee State Insurance Scheme, that is ESIC. This scheme is a pioneering attempt of government to provide medical facilities and unemployment insurance during the illness to the industrial workers. This scheme is administered by ESIC Corporation, that is Employee State Insurance Corporation, which is an autonomous body consisting of representatives of central, state government, employers, employees, medical professionals and also the members of parliament. This scheme offers four major benefits. They are as follows. The first benefit is medical benefit. The scheme provides medical care through dispensary system or the hospitalization system. During medical treatment, the insured person is paid about half of his daily wages. In sickness benefits, cash benefits is provided for a period not exceeding 90 days and that too in the two installments of 6 months. The insured person can claim the sickness benefits if they have paid their contribution for at least 13 weeks to the organization. The third benefit is about the maternity benefit. Every insured woman is entitled to receive the maternity benefit for maximum period of 12 weeks. Now, this has been increased to 6 months. The benefit is only for the women who do not work during these weeks. The fourth one benefit is about the disablement benefits. The disablement benefits entitles the insured person to receive the cash benefits for the absence from the work due to employment injury or as a result of specified occupational diseases. In this part 2 session, we have tried to cover all the safety measures as well as welfare measures under the Factory Act 1948 and also gone through the employee insurance scheme in detail. Hope you have understood the session very well. Do like, share and subscribe to my Forest Learning Academy and also press the bell icon to get the latest updates on this channel. So stay safe, stay tuned and take care.